Welcome back to the channel, man. You know what's up, man. You guys have been loving these sports videos, the sports content. I think my niche is sports videos in general. So yeah, sub up if you guys want to. You guys don't have to sub up. Somebody here, we're about positivity, man. Everybody is welcome. Don't matter what gender. Don't matter if you're a female, you're a male. Don't matter. We're here. Join. I mean, we can be as a family if you guys want. You guys can talk to each other down in the comments. Let's be positive. Let's not be negative. I just want my channel, my place to be a positivity place where people can just feel themselves and just enjoy themselves and feel comfortable. Watching videos, comment down below, giving me some advice or telling me, hey, right here, man, this is something wrong. Got some in the comments. I read mostly all my comments. So yeah, but today, man, we got Michael Jordan underrated years as a Wizard. A lot of people have been requesting this. I apologize for not getting to it sooner, but we're doing it right now.
The words Michael Jordan and underrated may seem like ludicrous to have in the same sentence. After all, he is one of the biggest icons in sports history and is recognized by most as the NBA's greatest player of all time. But when it comes to MJ's days with the Wizards, there is no question in my mind that those years are vastly underrated, and I believe by the end of this video, you'll be convinced of it too. When we take a look at Michael Jordan's career as a Chicago Bull, you'll see a resume of winning, excellence, and dominance.
True.
He was clearly the best player in the league just about every year he played, and he was the best player on both sides of the ball, just about every time he set foot on the court. This is the ridiculously high standards that Michael had set for himself, and that we as the fans had become accustomed to seeing from him. The Michael Jordan we knew in Chicago was always winning either MVPs, championships, or scoring titles. And this is exactly why so many people either underrate or have forgotten completely just how remarkable Jordan's stint was as a Washington Wizard. So what exactly are all the different reasons why people choose to overlook these seasons? Well, for one, as I just mentioned, the bar was set absurdly high by his Chicago Day standards.
That's
Number
true.
two, some believed his return tarnished the perfect ending of his career in Chicago. And number three,
Bro, that shot right there, I think is probably the best shot I have ever seen. Why? Because it's context behind that shot. Why that shot even went down. Bro, like, defense. Walk down the court. Eye in the clock. Bow. That's probably the best play I have ever seen in NBA history. And to win, I think that was right there to win his sixth ring. That's probably the best shot. And his form was so beautiful. It was like crazy.
the bitter ending of Jordan's relationship with the Washington Wizards organization. After Jordan retired as a player from the Wizards, Jordan assumed that he would be able to return to his front office position as director of basketball operations with the Wizards. Unfortunately, that was not the case. Soon after Jordan's retirement as a Wizards player, Washington's Wizards owner Abe Pollin fired Jordan as the team's president of basketball operations.
What?
Jordan's previous tenure with the Wizards front office had produced mixed results. Many of Jordan's decisions as an executive did not pan out, including his decision to draft Kwame Brown straight out of high school, who ended up being a bust and was traded just 4 seasons after Jordan had drafted him. Jordan later stated that he felt betrayed, and that if he had known that he would be fired upon retiring as a player, he would have never come back to play for the Wizards in the first place. Regardless, Jordan had returned to play 2 years.
Now the one thing, y'all, Jordan was a great player, but as a GM, he was decent. He was decent. I feel like he could have learned more, but he was decent. Jordan as a player was good, but can we be honest, y'all? Him as a GM was not that great. You know, but I really feel like we know the reason why his relationship with the Bulls front office was sour. I really feel like if his relationship with the Bulls was still good, I feel like he would, like, we know the reason why. We know that is that Jerry, you know what I'm saying, that Jerry Krause, whatever his last name is. But I feel like Jordan would still be in the Bulls organization, maybe even as a season ticket holder or whatever. But, you know, that's not the case, man.
For the Wizards. And despite the fact that those 2 seasons failed to live up to his glory days in Chicago, and despite the fact that those 2 seasons ended in a bitter firing, those seasons were still utterly remarkable, and in my opinion, they are 2 of the most underrated seasons in NBA history. So at this point, sit back and enjoy as I break down the astonishing details about Jordan's underrated years with the Wizards. When Jordan had retired from the Bulls at the end of the 1998 NBA season, Jordan claimed he was 99.9% sure he would never play in the NBA again. As we all know, that 0.1% chance prevailed, and Jordan returned to the game he loved. Jordan's passion for the game was seen immediately upon his return, as he announced that all of his earnings from these upcoming seasons with Washington he would be donating to disaster relief funds for the 9/11 attacks in New York. After being completely apart from
Do you
competitive...
see how great Michael Jordan was as a person and a player? All the money he made, donated. Who do you know players nowadays is taking some of the money they earn and donating it to a cause or to a charity? Like, y'all, like, I have so many ideas that I want to do. If I had the type of money these NBA players have when they're getting $50 million, $60 million a year, even $70 million, later down the line in their contract, I would try to make a community center, like a community center for kids, to where kids that are less fortunate or are in the streets can come to the community center in sports, boxing, whatever it is, arts and crafts, shoot, you name it, to where they can come to the community center for free, and just learn, and want to have a better life for themselves. That's what I would do. If I had the money these players have, I already built a community center for free for kids, for the youth, so that they can have a chance at a better life. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would do. I have so many other ideas like I really want to do that I feel like these NBA players should do, that they have the money for it. But we know some of these players are selfish and they don't really care about the upcoming generation. That's maybe, you never know. Upcoming generation can't even make the world a better place. You just never know. Because we don't give these kids a chance to find out who they are or what they want to do. You know?
Basketball for 3 full seasons, Jordan was returning as a 38-year-old who was trying to get back into basketball shape. The comeback had plenty of physical obstacles as well. Jordan was heading into his return dealing with tendonitis in his wrist and in both of his knees. During a pickup game that offseason, Ron Artest had broke 2 of Jordan's ribs while playing physical defense on MJ.
What?
Jordan would also go on to have fluid drained from his knees multiple times throughout that year. Michael Jordan was joining a Wizards team who had finished the previous season with the 3rd worst record in the entire NBA at 19-63, despite the fact that they were playing in a much weaker Eastern Conference. They also had the 2nd worst defense in the league in terms of opponents' points per game. They weren't just a lottery team. The Wizards were coming off of their worst season in franchise history. The deck was stacked against him, and Jordan and the Wizards' 0-1-0-2 season got off to a slow start at 2-9, but they began to figure things out and went on a 9-game winning streak to improve their record to 14-12. Just 2 games later, Jordan had his worst performance of his return, shooting 2 for 10 from the field, finishing with only 6 points, and losing by 27 points to the Indiana Pacers.
What?
Jordan was ice cold that entire game, and due to that, Michael's coach Doug Collins played Jordan in a reduced role, finishing the performance with only 25 minutes played. Jordan's 6-point game meant that his all-time great streak of 866 games with at least 10 points had come to an end. This poor performance and reduced minutes led Jordan to question his coach's faith in his abilities.
You know, that bus is lonely as a coach when you're sitting there after you've got...
One thing about a lot of these players are going to have bad games. I understand that he was a little bit older, but come on now. That's Michael Jordan. You don't do that. That is Jordan. That's like doing that to Kobe. You do not do that. That is Michael Jeffrey Jordan, the greatest player of all time. NBA history. Like, come on now.
Got your head handed to you. So I was sitting on the bus, and actually Michael had hired me. He was the part owner and president GM, hired me to be the coach, and then he came back to play. I'll never forget this moment ever as a coach. This to me was greatness. He got on the bus and he said, "Scoot over." And he looked at me and he said, "Do you think I can still play?" And I said, "Absolutely. That's why I'm here, to be here to help you." He said, "You know, to be my coach, you have to believe in me and believe I can still play." And I said, "Michael, I believe in you. We play the New Jersey Nets the next night. And Michael scores the first 3 times he has the ball. Byron Scott takes a timeout, and Michael comes over and he says, I want the ball right there the rest of the game, and don't take me out till I tell you. And so that's fine by me. So with 2 minutes to go in the game, he gives me the sign like, that's enough. I take him out of the game. He walks over to the bench. I said, Michael, what happened tonight? He said, well, the guy who was guarding me told me his back was hurting. Don't ever tell me you got a problem. He said, I'll make you pay for that. 51 points later. 51 points at age 41. He came back the next game with 46. And he looked at me and he said, I told you I could still play.
Jordan
51 and 40 something, like 46. That ridiculous that is for somebody that's over the age of 40. Now LeBron, I'm saying you still got LeBron can do that too, but like in that era, Jordan doing that, and Jordan is doing this on a weak Wizards team. It's not like Jordan went to like some great team. We're talking about the Washington Wizards. We know the Washington Wizards have not really been relevant since their existence. To be honest, I mean, you had John Wall, Billy. I mean, but we're talking about the Washington Wizards. They haven't really been done nothing really nothing. And Jordan doing this on a
responded in
ridiculous.
the following game the way a champion responds. He proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that he could still play in this league. Jordan was torching the Charlotte Hornets, playing like a man possessed. He scored 51 points on 55% shooting, adding 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals. Jordan continued his dominance into the following game, scoring an efficient 45 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists on an extremely talented New Jersey Nets team that went on to the NBA Finals that season. With these remarkable performances, Jordan became the only player in NBA history to score 50 points in a game in 3 different decades. No other player in NBA history has even done 40 points in a game in 3 different decades. Less than a month later, he had another back-to-back 40-point games, including a game-winning buzzer beater over the Cleveland Cavaliers.
To have back-to-back 40-point games at the age 40 is unheard of. And you know, LeBron, a back-to-back, Jordan is dropping 40 points on a back-to-back. LeBron, for example, when he was on my Lakers, we had a back-to-back. He dropped what? I think about 30-something. But like, I think 8. I think the game, it was a triple-double. Then he sat out the next game. Remember, he said remember, in his words, our LeBron fans, they said LeBron is the greatest of all time and he's better than Jordan. What player do you know that is 40 years old that's playing back-to-back and dropping 40 points back-to-back in the game winner? Look at Jordan, bro. 40 years old, 40 points back-to-back, a game winner. Come on, that's unheard of. And people love saying Jordan old around this time. He's not old. And NBA seasons, okay, yeah, he is old, but Jordan, bro.
The Wizards started the season with a 26-21 record, and on the 47th game, Jordan collided with a teammate and tore his meniscus. He tried to play through the pain and on reduced minutes, but after another 14 games, he had arthroscopic knee surgery to repair the knee, and his season was over.
Wow.
Before Jordan's injury occurred, Jordan was averaging 25.1 points per game, 6.2 assists, 5.3 rebounds, and 1.5 steals per game. It's unfortunate that we didn't get to see a healthy Jordan make it through the season, because the reality was, he was getting better as the season progressed and as he got back into basketball shape. In his last 20 games leading up to his injury, Jordan was averaging 27.5 points per game.
27 points, oh my gosh. And remember, he was getting back into basketball shape, NBA shape, and he was getting better every game. Imagine that season, Jordan was healthy. Oh my gosh.
6.4 assists, 5.2 rebounds, and 1.3 steals per game on 44% shooting. In his last 10 games leading up to the injury, Jordan was averaging 29.7 points, 6.6 assists, 6.1 rebounds, 1.2 steals on 47% shooting. Also, before Jordan's injury, the Wizards were on a 47-win pace and were well in the playoff hunt. Up to that
Wow.
point, no team in NBA history had ever been a sub-20 win team and got on to have a winning record the following season. Jordan had the Wizards well on their way up until the meniscus happened. Something else to consider is that the Wizards' second option, Richard Hamilton, missed 5 weeks of their 26-21
Who
stretch.
do you know somebody at the age of 40 went to a team that is horrible? It was like the bottom three worst teams. Comes to the team and has them in the playoff hunt. Who you know is doing that? LeBron not doing that. LeBron is not doing that. I'm talking about a team that was a bottom three in the conference. LeBron is not doing that. All LeBron doing no. Who else you know history is doing that? Go to a team that's not that good and have them in the playoff hunt. They're on the way to about 47 games. Imagine Jordan one last time in the playoffs on the Wizards.
Due to Hamilton's groin injury. After Hamilton healed and returned to the floor, the Wizards went on a remarkable 15-1 streak while they had both Jordan and Hamilton healthy on the floor. When you add all of this up, you begin to realize that not only did Jordan take one of the worst teams in the league and make them competitive, but had it not been for his knee injury, the Wizards would have had a legitimate shot at the first seed in the Eastern Conference. Not only was MJ getting better offensively as the season went on, but his defensive impact was getting better as well.
What?
Remember how the 2001 Wizards had the second worst defense in the league in terms of opponents' points per game? Jordan was the Wizards' only significant addition to their 2002 season, and at the time the knee injury had occurred, he had improved the Wizards to the sixth best defense in opponents' points per game, allowing only 92.2 points. In Jordan's last 35 games leading up to the injury, the Wizards were allowing only 90 points per game, on pace to have them ranked third overall defensively in the entire NBA. In the 15-1 stretch that Jordan and Hamilton were both actually healthy and on the floor together, the Wizards were allowing just 86.3 points per game, which was...
See, that's how to let you know that Jordan was a true leader. A true leader. They went from one of the worst defense to one of the best, only allowing Jordan and Rip Hamilton combined only allowing 86.3 points per game, NBA's best. That's like Rip Hamilton was kind of like the version of like Scottie Pippen, you know what I'm saying, on the Wizards, but with an older Jordan. Like, imagine that. A team that is worse at defense goes to one of the best records probably in their franchise history, and also one of the best defense in the league at that time. That's unheard of, man. Somebody at the age of 40 doing that, playing defense, getting better every day. Man, come on.
by far the best defense in the entire league. The Miami Heat finished as the number one defense that season, allowing a higher 88.7 points per game. If Jordan and Hamilton had been able to remain healthy for the duration of the 2002 season, they may have finished with the best defense in the entire NBA.
That's that boy Jordan.
With Jordan being the only significant addition to the Wizards roster between the 01-02 season, the Wizards roster improved 16 wins. Outside of Jordan, the 2002 Wizards' only additions were 5 bench players, who each played few minutes. Tyronn Lue played 20 minutes per game, rookie Kwame Brown played 14, rookie Brendan Haywood played 13, rookie Eton Thomas played 13, and rookie Bobby Simmons played 11. Again, the addition of Jordan was the only significant addition, and the team was transformed defensively and won almost twice as many games as the year before.
I'm saying, let me know who is doing that. Transforming one of the worst defense in the league to one of the best in the span of a year. The only addition was Jordan. Who's doing that? Bro. Like, what? Who is doing that? I bet you if you put LeBron on the Brooklyn Nets today, they're not doing that. The same thing when LeBron came to LA that first year, he couldn't even bring that team to a playoff record. Put Jordan, if you add Jordan to that Lakers, that first, let me see, what, 2017, 2018? Yeah, 2017, 2018 year, he would have that team, and right now, he will have that team just nuts.
Jordan was still dealing with injuries heading into the following season, and because of this, Jordan started the first 15 games of the 2002-2003 season coming off of the bench. In his second season in Washington, Jordan was the only Wizard to play all 82 games, and he was 40 years old.
Wow.
He also became the only 40-year-old in NBA history to score over 40 points in a game, which he did several times that season. He also became the oldest player in NBA history to average at least 20 points per game. Despite the best efforts of a 40-year-old legend, the Wizards still fell short of the Eastern Conference playoffs.
I mean, also you have LeBron is averaging 20 points a game at the age of 40. He's about 42, 42, I think.
Let's take a look at some of Jordan's numbers with the Wizards in comparison to last year's numbers from some of today's modern NBA stars. As you can see, in many of these cases, Jordan's numbers were just as good, if not better, than a lot of today's modern NBA stars. Also consider the fact that we're comparing the numbers of an injury-laden 40-year-old player to young, healthy players in the prime of their careers. When you look at it that way, you begin to realize just how impressive Jordan's Wizards seasons actually were. Now let's take a moment to compare Jordan's seasons to other legends when they played as a 38 or 39-year-old. As you can see, these numbers aren't even close to Jordan's level of production at the same age. Jordan was just on another level completely, performing at a level that the league had never seen before or since at that age. So now that we've just thoroughly examined Jordan's production,
I never knew Jordan was actually this good on the Wizards too. I didn't know that. Because when you talk about Jordan, you're talking about the Bulls. When he was on the Bulls, you're not talking about the Wizards. But I didn't know he was cold like that. But if you guys want me to react to some Jordans, to some Wizards highlights or Bulls highlights playoffs, let me know down below, and I'll do them.
And how he impacted one of the worst teams in the NBA by joining them, let's pause for a moment to consider what may have happened if he spent those comeback years on an actual contender instead of a lottery team. If he had played for a contender, he likely would have been able to preserve his health and minutes for the playoffs. What if he had joined his old running mate Scottie Pippen on a loaded and contending Blazers team? What if he returned to Phil Jackson to play alongside Shaq and Kobe on the dynamic Lakers? Are we potentially looking at an even greater 8-0 finals record for Michael Jordan? I know many people these days, especially the younger crowd, like to discredit Jordan's legacy because of the perceived lack of athletic competition Jordan had during the 1980s and 90s relative to today's basketball. But before you jump on that bandwagon, I want you to consider this. In the early 2000s,
remember, Jordan was the competition.
Jordan was, in terms of impact and statistically, one of the best players in the NBA as a 38 to 40-year-old, and he did all of that production while being way past his prime athletically, dealing with numerous injuries, all while being guarded by greats like Kobe Bryant, Vince Carter, and Tracy McGrady, night in and night out, who were all in their early 20s. Does that sound like athletic competition to you? Does that sound like a prime Jordan would have been the best regardless of the era you place him in?
Exactly.
That is certainly what it sounds like to me.
Exactly. You put Jordan in any era and he's dominating. Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment down below if I should react to some Jordan highlights, like playoff highlights, whatever it is, Wizards highlights. Let me know down below and I'll do them. Yeah.